I call this lesson Mountjoy. It's all about releasing the club head, achieving maximum distance. We're on the 18th hole at St Andrews, and this is a drivable par 4. Jack Nicklaus drove it years ago, and in order to get the maximum distance, you've got to learn to release the club head. And basically, if I was to get one message in my long time of teaching golf, is that handicapped golfers with potential, never release the club head. They release the body, they put too much effort into their swing. And the secret of release is to use your wrists as you come into the golf ball. Other sports, if you are fishing, for example, you're casting a rod, you'll always use your wrist to release the bait. If you watch the hurlers playing, when they're hitting the golf ball, they use the same action. They release the wrists as they are hitting the golf ball, and as they're hitting the hurley ball. So the secret here in golf is that golfers who hit the ball a long way, and you've seen this many times, they hit the ball a long way with minimum effort. What's their secret? Their secret is that as they come in, they're releasing the club head, they're letting the club head fly at the ball. We call it the Engelbert Humperdinck. The club head is crying out to be released. It's saying, please release me, please let me go, please let me go at the ball. How do you start? You start by not getting rigid, getting flexible, getting a feeling of waggle. And what you have to do in golf is put pressure on the club head. And what you get the feeling all the time, the club is like a hammer, it's an instrument. This is for holding, this is for hitting. And as you come down to the ball, your hands can get ahead, so the club head has to travel a long way. You've got to get this feeling of lateral casting, lateral fishing, basically getting the feeling of releasing the club head. You can even turn the club upside down and listen to the noise. You hear? That's the noise. Now, it's not a turnover, it's an upward release. So if you want to become good at golf, if I was to say to you, what's the big message over the years? I would say the handicapped golfer never releases the club head, doesn't use the hands, doesn't use the wrists, doesn't get the value for the swing. So I'm standing on the 18th tee, St Andrews, and I'm going to give this a clip. I'm going to release the club head as early as I can. And in other words, the distance the golf ball travels is not governed by the speed that you swing. That's a misconception. It's governed by the speed of the club head. The speed of the club head, and the great golfers, what to do is they bend the shaft into the ball. They get the feeling of bending it into the ball. And another factor is that as the club head moves forward, the handle stays behind. So a lot of bad golfers, what we call it, they hit the ball with the handle of rather than releasing the head of the club. A lot of this is done with your strong hand, your right hand. Whack it with your right hand in order to get the distance. So here I am standing on the 18th St Andrews. I'm going to hit this as far as I can by releasing the club head, by getting the club head out of the jail, by thinking of Engelbert Humperdinck. Release, release, release. So here I stand, waggling, get the feeling of club head, the feeling of looseness. And I'm thinking all the time of getting this feeling, letting the club head fly into the ball. So here I am, relaxing, very light grip, waggle, just taking it back, and then releasing. Just got it over the road. So the lesson is Mountjoy. Get your club out of Mountjoy. Get rid of the blocky old swing. Realise the club head isn't an ornament. Get it working for you. Get your right hand in, get your wrist going, and get the feeling of releasing the club head. This word is often referred to as leverage. In fishing, for example, if you're casting a fishing rod, you would never cast it by just using your arms. You always release the tip of the rod by using this movement with your wrist, that you're flinging the bait out into the water. It's in hurling, one of the great games. When the hurler comes in, he certainly doesn't block it, he releases the hurl. He gets the feeling of releasing the tip of the hurl. In other words, this is the part energizing the bottom of the hurl. And it's the same in golf, as you have to get the feeling of energizing the club head. The club head must bend. In other words, the distance the ball travels has nothing to do with your swing speed. It has everything to do with the club head speed and the ability to release the club head, to bring it out of Mountjoy, to get it flying at the ball. Remember, your hands have a little short semicircle, and the club head has a long way around to come and hit the ball. If you're going to become a ferocious long hitter without effort, you've got to learn to bring the club head in, to release the club head into the ball, to get the feeling the club is like an instrument. This is only for holding, this is for hitting. So you get the feeling of swishing the club head into the ball, releasing it using your right hand to give you the maximum power, but not to turn over. It's an upward release. That's what you're looking for.